Welcome back to another episode. Today, I want to take a closer look at some recent updates that happened over the weekend. I also want to look at some important earnings that I, as a semiconductor slash AI investor, are going to be looking at this upcoming week. And more importantly, a company that reported earnings a few days ago that I haven't covered that I believe is actually a multi-bagger opportunity that I do own. And I just want to share my overall thoughts. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
This is the heat map that we had on Friday. Unfortunately, it was a pretty red day as tensions escalated between the United States and China. But over the weekend, we did have some updates. So the current president, Trump, did mention that don't worry about China. It will all be fine. Highly respected for the president of China. Just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. President DJT. Now, that kind of created a nice bullish sentiment for the overall market. If we look at the futures right now, we can see the S&P 500 up around 1.3%, the NASDAQ, which is more tech heavy, up 1.8%, and we can even see the Dow up roughly 0.9% as I am recording today's episode. Now, a lot of excitement for some big stocks. We can see here Amazon up about 1.8% after overnight, and this is all on Robinhood's platform for their 24 hours a day trading. So this is lower volume, but it does kind of give us that indication of a bullish trend. Nvidia's up nearly 3%, sitting at 188, and we can even see AMD up roughly 3%. So a lot of excitement for the semiconductor industry. Now, this is what I believe is going to continue to happen: volatility in the market. And that's why, as an investor, I am more worried about long-term things about instead of short-term things, right? Short-term could create a lot of volatility. In the long-term, I'm investing in companies that I believe have growth opportunities, where in the short-term, anything can happen. Now, this is the beginning of some major earnings week. I'm super excited. And if you need any place to find the best semiconductor and AI news for free, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. I also do have some great offers for my viewers on the comments below. All the comments below on the pinned comment, I only work with companies I personally use, and there's a lot of great use cases for the users there, either promotions, free shares, and the list goes on and on. But now, if we look at this upcoming week, two interesting companies, major in the semiconductor space, are going to be reporting earnings. ASML is going to happen on Wednesday before the market opens, and they're going to give us a great indication of how maybe capital expenditure is happening by the manufacturer players. Now, this is very top level in the overall supply chain of things. So ASML, I wouldn't really take too literate to what might be impactful for companies like NVIDIA or AMD. This is more crucial for TSMC and some of the other players. Now, on Thursday, before the market opens, this is TSMC, and this is the massive manufacturer of AI chips and other types of chips as well. I think for semiconductor investors and AI investors, TSMC is the crucial one, right? Not only we already know that they beat revenue. They give us monthly numbers, and we know based on those monthly numbers, revenue is going to be great. What we're more excited to hear about is guidance. What is guidance expected? Has guidance shifted a little bit? Is it going on the higher side? Is it going on the lower side? What's the demand for AI? Has there been any shift in the past 3 months? Is that shift on the good and on the bad end? Information like that is going to be crucial for the overall trend in the semiconductor industry. Now, I say this all the time. TSMC, in my opinion, is one of the management of TSMC is a management that says it how it is. So this is one of the management teams that I really take at high value the word, because, like I mentioned, they say it how it is. If things are good, I really believe it. If things are bad, I'm going to believe it. They just care about being honest, and I really do appreciate that from TSMC's team. Now, maybe if you are an investor of like Intel, you might also want to hear if they talk anything about the competitive landscape. They might talk something about advanced packaging like CoWoS and all the other solutions as well. They might talk something about the AI market trend. So all this, no matter if you're a TSMC investor or not, you definitely want to stay tuned to that episode. Now that we have that cover, I actually want to talk about a company that recently reported earnings, and this is Air Test System, a stock that I personally own. I believe this is a multi-bagger opportunity. It is a company that provides semiconductor equipment for the manufacturing process. And more importantly, they do manufacturing that is that's testing, right? It's more of reliability to make sure the chips are working fine. And if you're not familiar, I was just recently at a semiconductor conference. And one thing that really stuck out to me in that is that chips are becoming more advanced to manufacture. And this is something I've known before, but just to hear it from the professionals over and over again, the one thing is chips are getting harder to manufacture, and you need to catch reliability or the issues ahead of time. And that's where air test system products shine, right? They help make sure that the quality of their chips are amazing from the get-go, from wafer, right? You don't want it finishing at the last end goods and end up building the whole process and then decide figuring out that the chips didn't work. So this company has an opportunity to benefit from that market trend. Right now, market cap of 700 million dollars. Year to date, the stock is killing it. We've been talking about this stock for a while. Now, in the past month, the stock is down roughly 11%. 6 months, the stock is up nearly 183%. This is another stock I'm not worrying about dollar cost averaging up. I still believe it's a multi-bagger opportunity, and I'm going to explain why. I'm not just going to say I believe this is it. I'm going to explain why. So most of their products usually were used in the electric vehicle market, right? And this is why revenue has been a bit of a slowdown. And this is why I think it's crucial to understand a company, because if you just look at numbers, you're going to say this company is failing. Last year, this company had $13.1 million in revenue. Now it had 11. So a decline in revenue. And you're saying, Jose, again, if you're just looking at revenue numbers, you're going to be like, why are you bringing this up? You're talking about a semiconductor company that is not benefiting from the AI craze. What is wrong with you, Jose? And again, it's important to understand the business. Air Test Systems' main customer are EV vehicles, and the EV market has not been the greatest, as we all know, right? Tesla, for example, has seen lower volume solds and stuff like that throughout the past few quarters. And obviously that impacts companies that do the testing for those chips. Now, what gets me excited is they are moving into other markets. They are moving into the AI accelerator market. So they continue to have these reliability machines for different stages in the AI processing steps. And they're getting orders coming in. And eventually, I believe this is going to be a huge market. They mentioned that during the quarter, their lead production customer, a world leading hyperscaler, placed multiple follow on volume production orders of that AI testing process machine and requested shorter lead times to support higher than expected volumes as they ramp up development of their own advanced AI processor. They're also collaborating with them on future generations of processors to ensure that they can meet their long-term production needs for both package and even wafer level burn-in. And they continue to talk about this, right? Key upgrades includes that they're able to test higher chips per devices, 2,000 watts, right? And that's kind of where these GPUs are going. Outside of that, they're also doing wafer level burning. So you can test in the package device, or you can test in the wafer level device. And this is, again, very crucial as you want to kind of start to find the reliability issues from the beginning. Outside of that, they're also developing a strategic partnership with various companies to help test out their high performance computing and AI processing burning solutions. Outside of that, they're also kind of continue to see demand in other markets, right? They're seeing growth in silicon photonics, hard disk drives, which is definitely seeing a massive growth with the AI market, gallium nitride, which is also seeing a massive growth with power solutions in data centers, and silicon carbide, which mainly used to be in the EV space, but now due to the massive power solutions, it's kind of moving into the data center market. So all of these rapid developments, in my opinion, are creating excitement for the overall stock. Now, unfortunately, the company does not give guidance, and this is what's maybe creating a lot of fear, they are still excited about the year ahead and believe nearly all served markets will further into fiscal 2027. They just started the first quarter of fiscal 2025. Now, again, if you look at just pure numbers, you're going to say, Jose, this stock looks ugly. Revenue is not growing. Cash position has gone down, but you are seeing improvements in no long-term debt and also free cash flow. It used to be negative. It's no longer there. It's still there, but it is improving, right? Negative 1.7 billion, 1.7 million last quarter, where just a few quarters ago, it was closer to 6 million. Now, this company has been doing some remodeling in certain manufacturing plants, and they say they no longer need some of those remodeling things. So we should see free cash flow improvement. And right now, obviously, the EV market has created a slowdown and is impacting things like gross margins, unlike we see revenue growth. But like I mentioned, the opportunity, in my opinion, is there, and not many people are keeping a closer eye on Air Test System. So this is a stock I pretty much enjoy. I had some highlighted points. Let's see if we saw more AI customer engagement. We talked about the facility renovation. It's increasing their overall capacity by 5x, and they anticipate no more capital expenditure for facility expansions in the near future. They expect silicon carbide to continue to grow in the second half, and multiple growth drivers across the markets. Air is the only company worldwide that is able to offer both wafer level and package burn-in systems for qualification and production burn-in of AI processors. We're also seeing that not many companies can kind of do this type of high power solutions that they can with up to 3,500 watts on multiple wafers in one machine. They continue to see adoption and engagement of customers and major AI companies. And overall, I am excited, right? Very, very much excited for Air Test System. This is one of those small cap companies, right? Not even $1 billion company that you're facing against big players. Other players out there do provide some form of burn-in test. Air Test System says they have a lead in certain parts within that burn-in test. But I believe this is one of those stocks that has a great growth opportunity, right? Has a great growth opportunity, has a decent balance sheet with no long-term debt and some cash at hands. It has, like I mentioned, the innovation behind the AI market. And if it's executed correctly, I could see this being a multi-billion dollar company, which is a multi-bagger. But again, it is a small player, so it does come with risk. And for that reason, I would never make it like a 10% position in my overall portfolio. Maybe like a 4, maybe like a 3%. But if it does become that multi-bagger, it can definitely do really good things in my overall portfolio. So this is one that I'm going to continue to dollar cost average into. Especially here as we kind of see this negative sentiment towards the stock. I would say if TSMC during their earnings that happened this Thursday say that they are going to increase capital expenditure a little bit more than they originally thought, companies like Air Test Systems can benefit dramatically just because of the overall ecosystem sentiment. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.